Hi, welcome back to the Storware Academy. This time I will provide the lecture about the vProtect for the VMware environments. My name is Paweł Mączka, I'm a CTO and VP of the Storware company. So let's start from the scratch. So what we see here is the vProtect login screen. So what I will do is just login, of course. So let's go inside. And we see our dashboard. So dashboard is quite similar for every type of the hypervisor or the container or the cloud that we're supporting in. But today we particularly concentrate only on the VMware side. So like most of you know, we have a few types of ways how to protect the VMware environments. The most common, of course, is to use the HODAD, VADP API to do it. So what we need to do is to just go and connect to the vCenter. So where to find it in our vProtect? So first of all, I need to go to the Hypervisors tab. Then I will go into the Hypervisors managers. So vCenter is a manager, so obviously we can easily go here. So you can see the account, the type of the hypervisor that we would like to connect. Let's grab the VMware vCenter. We see the URL, so we need to find out where our vCenter is. So I will take one of my, let's say, test ones. It won't work, but you will see just a brief introduction how it should work. So Storware EU. So username. We need to have all of the credentials that will allow us to doing all of the backup and recovery procedures. You will find it out on our Gitbook documentary. So we put in the credential like a password, so we'll go with it. And we need to choose which type of the node, if we have, of course, many nodes. In typical installation, we have a one node, one server. So node is responsible as a data mover to communicate with the vCenter and grab all of the VMs into the node, then choosing the backup destination. We'll talk about it later. But here I use the vProtect local ones, so we can save. Shall we start the inventory synchronization? No, because it's just for testing. I will grab my own working the vCenter. I just wanted to show you how easily to add the new vCenter with the root. Here I have my working environment, so I will go and do the inventory synchronization. It means right now that I will call API and I will ask, okay, show me what type of the data stores, what type of the data centers, what type of the VMs you have, and list everything in the other tabs called virtual environments. So I will go to the task console. I see that I just run the inventory synchronization. So let's wait a few seconds to finalize the task. We can see also some task details. So we see it's running 60%. It's a GUID of the job. So let's wait a few seconds. Of course, we just did the manual way, but in most cases, we don't need to do it every hour. The inventory synchronization is do it automatically. So no worries about it. From the demo purposes, I just did on demand. Okay, we did it. So what we should have right now is we should go to the virtual environments. And of course, I have hundreds of the different VMs. Easier is to use the filters. So I will find the particular type of the hypervisors. So I'm interested in the VMware ones. Or with the policy. So I can see that we have a few, or more than a few machines here. They started with the store. Let's grab one of them. Some of them they didn't protect well, so we see that the backup is outdated. So I think it's a good idea right now to grab one of them and just to do the backup. We have two types of the backups. Obviously, we have a full one. And we have the incremental forever based on the change block tracking features. So I will take in the incremental one. And manually right now, I can use the backup destinations. Now, it means that I can choose the place where my backup should be stored. In this case, I will use, in most cases, our most favorite ones, so the dedupe compression file system base of the virtual data optimizer. So for your information, we have our own dedupe compression methodology. We're using the VDO library to have inline deduplication. So of course we have other choice, like using the data domain, using the Spectrum Protect, or the other vendors that will allows us to make a dedupe. But right now I will concentrate to show our own, let's say, primary pool for taking my backup. So I will just doing a backup on demand. Okay, I will take another one. I just want to show you that we will start a few backups to the other locations. Right now I will choose the data domain BoostFS, for example. So this is one of the beauty when you're using the vProtect. You can use every time when you have backup on demand, or you can schedule, you can use the different destinations. So you can imagine that in a daily basis you're protecting all of your backups locally in the storage, like using video deduplication storage, but once during a week or once a month you can use the different location, such as object storage in the AWS or IBM Cloud, or any other object storage that we are supporting. So this beauty calls backup destinations. This is the part of our philosophy called freedom of choice. So we're giving you the huge variety of the different supported hypervisors, containers on the cloud, or you can go to the backup destination and choose where you should store your data actually. So coming back, you've seen that I just did the two tasks. One task was to store my backups to VDO. The next one is to send the data to the data domain. And you need to understand that we are differentiate the let's say backup job or the restoration job in the two different tasks. First task is the export. The export means that we communicate directly to the vCenter, and of course we're doing a snap. So you should see all of the snapshot history in the recent tasks. Hopefully you will see right now. So I think let's come back here and just trigger one more node because it could disappear. Let's come on here. Let's grab this one. Incremental video. So here you see that export means we just doing a snapshot, and of course using the VADP. So it means that after we exporting this data, so actually cloning from the hypervisor through the vCenter to the vProtect, we close the chain of the snapshot. So we delete the snapshot after each backup operation. So the export means we grabbing it, then so after the export you will see the store task, and the store means that okay, I got this backup, so this backup should go to the one of the backup destination which I already decided to go. Okay, so let's this job's running, no worries. And I would like to explain a few more things. So we have some virtual environments, so machines, but before we'll do the backup, first we should connect these virtual machines to the specific policies. So let's understand what kind of the policies we have when we're creating a backup for the VMware. So my methodology is here, because we have a huge number of the different hypervisors supported, is to name the policy based off the hypervisors. You can use it in a different way, but here I should find the VMware one. So let's go inside. We have the priority, so in case that we have a few schedules, few policies that are trying to doing a backup at the same time, the policy with the bigger priority will have the advantage in a queue if you're talking about the numbers of the parallel task that we can work on vProtect. What I do love here is the auto assignment feature. Auto assignment means that I don't need to all the time manually attach my VMs to the policy. I can be much more smarter here. So I can use the tags or the regex, so regular expressions. So here you see that every machine that using the vProtect daily backup will be automatically attached to this policy. Or if the machine starting with the name of the store, it will be automatically also assigned. So in this case, I don't need to worry about that. If I will have hundreds of the thousands of the different VMs, I can easily automate this process without notifying actually the backup administrator to do it. We have different modes. The most common that I using is to assign and remove. It means that if I will change the name, or if I will delete the tag, or will unassign my VMs from this tag, it will be automatically removed from the policy. Sometimes the administrators prefer you can go and only assign, but if anybody will delete the tag, we will not change anything in the policy. But in the end, it will be your choice. Okay, so then you can manually find the way how many VMs you should have. Here you can see we automatically assign the 8 ones. And the rules. Rules mean that you can choose where your data should be stored, but also where your backups based on the schedules should be run. Here you can see 2 scenarios. So every machine that is attached to this policy running the daily incremental and the weekly full. I will come back to the schedules in a minute, so I will explain how to create the schedules. Right now, our policy based on these 2 just created. And in the other functions, we have fail rest of the backup task if more than XX% export has already failed. I will not go deep dive here, but imagine that you have some problems, issues with the environments, and numbers of the job backup tasks are failing one to the another. So you don't want to go through the 100 or 200 tasks to be failed. So we can create that if you have 50% of the failed jobs, do not doing the rest of them. Just skip it because something went wrong on your actual environment. Okay, so when we have a policy, this is what I said, it's good to also understand the schedules. Schedules for the backups are quite easy. Let's go to the daily incremental. So we're choosing what's of course the name, what type of the schedule is. You will see the types of the different policies. So we have a virtual environments backups, we have a snapshot management, we have an application backup, and we have a recovery plan. So we had 4 types of the policy, 4 types of the schedules. So if we're talking right now about the backup, we should also keep in mind that the schedule type should be the same. The type of the backup here, because it's daily incremental, should be incremental forever, and the time frame we would like to do it. So once a day or the interval. Interval is quite interesting because in the interval way, we can choose and build a really rigoristic way how to protect your VMs. So it means every 15 minutes from the 1 to 300. It's quite aggressive. So here I will recommend to change the logic and do not do a typical backup. So backup should be once a day or a few times a day. If we have a really rigoristic way and a frequency how we would like to manage the snapshots, we should consider Beauty add-on. So let's not concentrate on a backup, but also let's have the option to build the snapshot management policies. So here we actually do not exporting the VM after we're doing the snapshot. We just creating the chains of the snapshots that we can easily revert in case of the need of the restoration. So snapshot management, it can be a brilliant opportunity to have additional feature based on the backup, but do not you just need to keep in mind that snapshot management shouldn't replace the backup policy at all. So we always recommended to build the policies for the backups and build the policies for the snapshot management. So I will do some sample. So I will go to the snapshot management. I will find some, let's say, VMware 5D. I will grab one of the virtual environments, one of the VMs. I can see here Storware Cloud. So I will assign this machine to the snapshot policy. You have two VMs, and I will just do the snapshots from them. So again, I'm not waiting for the schedule here because we don't have a time. I'm just doing a snap on demand right now. So you should see in a few seconds that this information will go through the vCenter to our task console on our vCenter. So let's wait. So like I said, backups, snapshot should be compliant. We should not replace any of this strategy. They should be work simultaneously. So if you have a really rigoristic way how to come back with your existing VMs, the snap management is a beauty feature. So let's wait here. Also, you should be familiar that we have an application backup. I will not go through all of the features, but just for your information, if you have a VM machines, so every snap gives you the possibility to freeze the VM, of course, if you're using the VM tools. If you're not using the VM tools, you need to be aware that we're using the crash consistent backup. But imagine that you have one of the application like databases, or you can have Oracle, MS SQL inside, and you don't want to keep your backup only based on the VM snapshot, so VM level backup. So you would like to go inside the VM, and we have the option using the application backup to go inside using the SSH and do it whatever we want on the application level. What is also really important is the way how we can automate the restoration. So we do not only concentrate how to automate the backup, but we can have a beauty way how to automate the recovery options. So let's imagine that in a daily basis you would like to recover the machines on the same hypervisors on a different site. So this is how you can apply the recovery plans. Okay, so let's see if our snapshot we made a Storware Cloud here, and you can see that the second machine was Lab Red Hat. I haven't noticed it was inside, but you can see that. Let's go to the Storware machine. Let's see the snapshots. Yeah, so you can see that here, because we build in the chains of the snapshot, we do not delete the snapshot like we're doing in a backup, typical procedures. The snapshot will remain based on the policy that we created. So it could be based on the time and based on the number of the versions. Okay, you should remember what I said when we build the policy, that we have always two tasks. The first task is to export, the next one is to store. So I just want to show you that we, after the export, storing the data into the different location. Okay, last task, because we will finish, I know that we are running out of time, is to doing the restoration. I think everybody is quite curious how to do it. It's really simple, just again finding our VM. So I will do on the same VM that I protected, so the Storware Cloud, and I will do the restoration. I have also the feature to mount it. So just for your information, we can grab individual files from the backup that we made. In the restoration tab, we have a few options. Of course, we should choose which snapshot we would like to grab, so point in time exactly, and the way how we should restore. Restore to the hypervisor manager, so coming back to the vCenter, and restore to the file system. It means that we can restore to the different node. The Storware vProtect node can be on a different location. This is the part of the way how we can also build a disaster recovery option, or many ways that we can talk about it, but not today. So I will choose the restore to hypervisor manager. I will pick the vCenter, so it's my own. I will choose the hypervisor. Let's grab on a 12. I will choose, do not change it. Let's use this storage. And I will of course name, I don't want to have the same name, so I will use a different name for this VM. So MIA Cloud Restore 01, and I will choose the type of the disk allocation, thin, thick, pre-allocated, eager zeroed. I will keep thin, I think it's a good option. Well, let's do it. So right now you see that the status is in queued. In a few seconds we should start the restoration. On a vSphere, after the first job of the restore will be done, you will see that the machine is actually created. So let's wait for it. What I do love in a post-production is that we can take the 10 minutes restoration in a few seconds. So you can see that we have restore and import. So it means that we should create a machine here. So let's wait. So you can see that we have machine already here called MIA Cloud Restore 01. So I can power on. So we can see that our machine is working. Here, what I haven't shown you, but it's also important. So let's see what's going on when I click the virtual machine. So I really enjoy the view because you can see if everything was, if do we have any problems regarding this machine. I know that last one backup was failed, so I'm acknowledged with the problem. But we can see also where this machine is attached to the snapshot policy or the virtual backup policy, where it's actually stored on a hypervisor, and what's the history behind the scenes. Because we have actually attached this VM to the weekly backup, we can see that every week we're doing the full one. We can also see some backup size, but also some activities, how much time we need to export, import, and the other tasks that is related to our daily operation. Below you can see the different tabs, like how many backups we made, what's the history of the backup. You can see some errors. What's the history of the restoration? What is the history of the snapshots? How many disks we have? Can we exclude the disks if it needed? How many schedules we have assigned to this machine? And if we are going to the settings, it's important that we can see that we can add also pre and post snapshot command execution. It's important to going inside to the VM and says QS this particular database if we don't have the VM tools, or just go to the specific application that do not using the VSS, for example, and QS them. So many ways how to go and do the pre and post snapshots here with the access via the SSH. Also, what is important, so I explain you the virtual environments backup and restoration process. I will explain you how many backup destinations we can use, schedules, policies. I mentioned that you can individually restoration the file based on the mounted backups, and of course it's important how many users and who is doing what. So it's our audit log. We can easily integrate this audit log with some monitoring tools or the CIM security application. But the last, not the least, it's how to cope with the daily reporting. So you can go from the dashboard point of view to the backup reports. We can select the number of the days that we would like to do in a report, like last month from the 1st of the January to the 29th and 29th. We can see the different hypervisors or the application backups. Of course, we can notify and send this report to the administrators. Of course, it's fully configurable here in the settings, so we can configure where we should send this data. Here you can see myself and Łukasz, so the two administrators that should, in a daily basis cope with this kind of the production environments. Okay, so I couldn't go through all of the features that are available for the VMware, but I believed I gave you the really good overview, what kind of the feature set we can use to properly protect your VMware environments. Of course, if you have any more questions, do not hesitate to contact us via our website. So go on Storware EU or any of our social media channels. So thank you and stay tuned for the next releases. Bye-bye.